This building has withstood the test of time, and it keeps coming back into its purpose, whether it's to serve the community, the people here, the families around it, and to this day, it's still a general store of some capacity since we took it over years ago. Seeing it as an empty building, we weren't sure what was happening in the place, but had a tug in our heart we're supposed to stop in, and a few hours later we committed to this space. So if these walls could talk, what would they say? So many people have walked these floors. This building is almost 150 years old, and there's so much history. It was built by the Eshelman family in 1872, made by bricks that was believed to be made by the family themselves in a kiln that was just really right down the street. So much happened right here. It was called the Four Corners. It was the place to be back in the 1800s. Clarence was here before Buffalo was here, and then Buffalo and all the other areas spread out from Clarence. And this particular area in Clarence Center was very entrepreneurial based. So much happened here at the hubs of the Four Corners, and they even called this store years ago the Square Deal Store because they were fair and they were forward thinking and they were for the community. And as stewards of the building, we like to think that we have to hold those same standards, and we really take that seriously and consider it an honor to be here and making sure that we're welcoming everyone that comes through our doors. At the time that this building was built, it was the tallest building around outside of downtown area. So being 3 stories high, there was a purpose for every floor. The first floor was for commerce. Next door to us was where all of the town meetings took place, and the entire town of Clarence fit right here in this building. We even have pictures with men in their top hats and all of the voting information. The second floor has a lot of history, and the third as well, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. So come take a walk and you can see a little bit of history here. There has been multiple reasons that this building would not be here, but it continues to stand. Back in the 70s, there was a fire that took some of the building, but very little. And it was all restored by a family at that time, Anderson family and other families that helped contribute to that project to restore the building down to all of its original. So all that we see here of the natural casing, that is all original to the building. The floors are original, the brickwork, even all of the clasps on the doors, and just even the pictures that we have found in the attic as we have been here in the building. We found things of storefront pictures of the Eshelman. It was in the Bratt and Craybiel family as well through the years. It always stayed in the family until the 70s, and then it was outside of the family for a short time frame. The fire took place, the building was restored because it just continues to just be victorious over the test of time. And after that point, it was a general store, and when we came into the place, it was empty. We did not even know what it was or its history, and then we just started planning, and it turned out it really came back right into its history again. So we're just going to point out a little bit of the building, that it does show its wear and tear of what it's been through, but like many of us, as you face things, you get stronger after it. So we have some stains here from when the fire took place, but this building is stronger than ever, and it has really continued to serve this community in such an amazing way as it did many years ago with all of the families that owned it. And looking at all of the pictures here in the storefront and the horses, it was horse and buggies, and then it was a dirt road and eventually turned to a real road, and over time we've just watched the evolution. We still have our stop signs at the Four Corners, and so much beautiful history here in Clarence. It's a wonderful family town, and many come to see and understand what makes this so special. Back in the early 1900s, this is where people would come to buy their tires for their Ford cars. And something really neat that a lot of people don't know about this building is it was a makeshift elevator that went through the 3 stories of the building, and they would pulley the tires up through the floors in order for people to be able to purchase their tires. They would come from the Peanut Line, which was the train that was just a few blocks away. They would come several hours to get here. Other reasons they would travel here to the hub of Clarence Center, to the Eshelman building, was to see a mayor or a politician that was here to speak or be inaugurated. They would do these ceremonies on the 3rd floor of the building, where there is a theater and a stage. The mayor would sign the wall after the event, as well as the quartet and their spouses that came to perform. There is amazing history, and it's still here on the walls today. So much has been preserved and will continue to be preserved over this building as it continues just to tell the story of time. We've been able to meet some of the families through the years that had part in this, and it's really been such a blessing to hear their stories. One of the stories that was told to us was about the safe here in the back corner of the building. So there was no bank back at the time, so it was a barter system. So the only people that got paid were the farmers. And so the farmers got paid out of here. So this is an original 4-in-1 safe. You won't see anything else like it because it's really the only one. So you'll see as you go back in there, this is how it was guarded. This safe was robbed through the years, hence why it became a 4-in-1. And the family, even at the time, put up bars on the windows to guard the windows from being broken into here at the building. We came across an article back in the 1900s that talked about that, and we learned from one of the daughters of the owners of this building years back that her dad would actually sit up in this makeshift sniper box to guard the building all night. And she told me stories how her mom would just shake pots and pans and make sure that they just guarded off the burglars so that they would know someone was home, so don't mess with the building. So that was just a wonderful story that came to us from Cal Crabio many years ago when she came to come inside the building and tell me her stories. And we hope someday that these stories will go on and on and on, and we believe that they will, because history will always be here. Some more interesting facts about the building. So the third floor of the building where the theater stage was, this is the place to be in Clarence Center, the third floor stage area. So there was theater that took place here, entertainment, there was special meetings. Also the Clarence schools that were right across the street, those schools, all of their graduation ceremonies took place right here in this building. So Clarence Center was a place to be for family, for politics, for merchants, and for just the community, and it continues to be. It is a mixed zone area, and it continues to thrive together with all these elements. There was even farming that took place. There was a dairy farm down the way that the Eshelman buildings had a part in. They were very much into real estate, which was also just amazing to think how entrepreneurial they were in that day to establish this area. And this was actually one of the first locations to even house one of the very first Alexander Graham Bell phones. So if you had to make a phone call, you came to the Eshelman building. So this is a place of essentials, but it's also a place of some wonderful fun and luxuries too, and we're just so glad to be a part of history as it carries on. This building is official. It's on the National Registry of Historic Places here at 6000 Goodrich Road. Come visit the Eshelman building.